for me, hot cognition means that we've taken a look at what the brain needs, and we've combined it with the skills of emotional intelligence. We've stirred that together to make this wonderful, delicious smoothie. And then we want to give it to every teacher that we know so that they can recreate the recipe and use it with the children in their classroom. So there's interesting research out there about the fact that our brains wander about 30% of the time. So Cherilyn, let's show Joel our list of the items that we listed under cognition. So Joel, your challenge here will be to, can you think of something we've left off? Something that you would put on that list no matter what. So I love the first one. I think it's so important that we have novelty and uniqueness in a classroom. So much of a classroom is routine and the same old, you know, that kids feel like they're in a rut and they can't get past it. So one of my favorite ways to have a surprise is to do jokes, because that's a little surprise for the brain. So, and of course, I love movement, and how can we do it without emotion? Cherilyn, which is the favorite one of your techniques?
Well, the storytelling, I love myself, and also would love to hear stories from my students as well, and say, when have you seen this in your own life? And they would tell and engage, and definitely experiential learning. I feel like some of my deepest experiences were the field trips, were the long projects where we had to go off campus to collect the materials and go to Home Depot and then come back to school. Anytime you were doing something different with all your senses, I'd say.
So we, of course, are trying to avoid the things that are on the side of cold cognition. So here's our definition. We really think that hot cognition is taking a look at the brain. How does it learn? What does it need? Just like you would look at a plant and say it needs sunlight, it needs water, it needs nurturing and plant food. Well, that's exactly what cognition does. It takes a look at what the brain does, and then it blends it together with emotional intelligence to create a comfortable, safe learning environment. And then, of course, cold cognition ignores all of that. And then you end up with unengaged students, bored students, students who fail their quizzes, students who don't do their homework, students who sit in the back of the room and hide behind their hoodies. So Cherilyn and I took our thoughts about all of this, and we created a series of formulas. I wanted something that teachers would be able to hold on to. So we took these major ideas of ours that we thought were critical to be sure we were putting into a classroom. Novelty and building intrinsic motivation, and be sure we were asking questions and teaching students how to ask questions so that we're not the only one asking questions. What we've been talking about all the way through with the stories about how emotion is more important than procedural or movement or any of the other modalities that end up existing. I love the second one because it is years plus 2 minutes is about all the time that a child can tolerate. If you've got a 5-year-old, don't count on more than 7 minutes being the amount of time that they can focus. Now, that's not true when you're 80, as I am. You don't get 82 minutes. The maximum amount you get is 20. You can't ever go over 20. That's sort of it. So that's what all these formulas are. They're little secrets that will help you design a classroom that will invite your students in, that will raise the curiosity level, that will really help them to become committed to learning. We want to get your attention. We want to get your participation. We want to stir your emotions a little bit. We want to get you involved. And that's really what hot cognition is all about. And I love this picture that Cherilyn found because we really believe that hot cognition is the missing piece.